I would like to tell everybody, this is my message to the whole humanity, that we have 24 hours in a day and we use it the way we like. But take 1 minute from each hour, mean 24 minutes. This is the instruction of ancient masters. From this 24 hours, you sacrifice 24 minutes for your inner observation. Must be learned from an experienced person. Trust yourself. Respect yourself. Love yourself. Many people say, oh, people are fighting with me, they are angry with me. You are what you know. If you feel that I am loving myself, I am everything, and I am responsible for my life, you are what you know. So when you have that self-esteem, you will project, you will emit that vibration. People will immediately recognize it. If you are scared, people will make you scared. If you are courageous, people will make you more courageous.
All right, Guru
Yes.
Yogi Shivan, thank you so much for being on the show. To make things simpler going forward, we're just going to call you Guruji. It's great to have you. Your team reached out to us and they thought it'd be a great conversation to have you talk about the Indinasi Healing Village and your teachings and everything you got going on in the world right now. It seems like you're really working on helping people, healing people spiritually, physically, working with them. A good place we like to begin is kind of with our guests and their backstories. And maybe you could probably do a better job of it yourself, is kind of introducing yourself, who you are, what you got going on, and all that good stuff.
Okay, so welcome. I appreciate your efforts also, and I'm so happy to associate with you to spread this idea. Actually, Intimacy Healing Village is a place where people can come and deal with all their problems. Usually, people are suffering from physical problems, mental issues, then spiritual confusions, social disharmony, relationship problem. So, we all are going through many issues. Even globally, earlier people were not very aware of the things which were happening around the world. Now, modern techniques made everybody connected each other. So now, where you are sitting and I am sitting here, we are exchanging our idea. Just through the gadget, everybody is aware of things are happening around the world. Even sometime in the outer space, people are aware. So the information, the load of information applied in the brain, people are really they're struggling to deal with the input of informations. There some kind of stress. Once the mind is stressed, whatever deals they go through, they find difficulty, and there is a chaos around the world. People are in fear. See, like a war. Everybody is expecting a like World War III. Why? Nobody knows. Why do we fight each other? Nobody knows. So in India, it is called Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga means the time when people start fighting, conflicting each other without a clarity. Why
Bad
they
time.
are
A bad time.
Not anyhow. So what we do here, we allow people to increase the brain capacity. Actually, there was a time in the history also where people reached to the peak of this stress. There they discovered the necessity between the union between the brain and heart. Now, modern studies are declaring that the capacity of the heart is 60 times stronger than the power of brain. So ancient time, people recognized it and they found a technique that how to make a union between the brain and heart. This is what is called yoga. Yoga means union. So make a deliberate effort to connect your intellect with the intuition. Then life will be entirely different. So the problems which we are facing will become nothing. It's like an accountant struggling with a small computer or the less capacity computer, and he was struggling to deal with situations. All of a sudden, he got a new version of the computer which has got wonderful capacity. So his effort, his job is becoming, it's an enjoyment. Earlier, it was a struggle. So like that, we are struggling with our small computer brain. Now, yoga will make an opening to the heart, domain of the heart. There we will feel life will become a festival. So this is what ancient masters recognized, and they codified a method which is labeled as yoga, and it is introduced to people. Unfortunately, again, modern brain complicated it. Yoga is something like a mysterious one or acrobatics. No, yoga is the union between the law of nature and the individual. How I breathe and what I should do as exercise and how I should frame my thoughts, what should I eat. So, like that, when I become aware of the law of nature, the problems existing in my body and mind will vanish. So, here at Intimacy Healing Village, again, intimacy, India's traditional techniques to make everybody aware that you are the source of your own shelter. In Sanskrit, Tattvamasi, there is a word called Tattvamasi, means all your prayers are being answered from within. That which you are looking for, Tvam, you, Asi, are. So you are the source of your problems and possibilities. So I took that Asi and connected with India. That is why it's called intimacy, not INTI, it is INDIMASI. So the guidance which will be making everybody possible to rely on their strength. So here we train people how to eat, how to do exercise, and how to breathe and how to meditate. It's called Chaturbalam. 4 types of energies must be managed by everybody. Annabalam, food power; Asanabalam, exercise power. Exercise can be used as medicine. Then the breath power. Your real source is your prana. If there is prana, means the life force, your breath. The breath is not there, everybody is in trouble. Then the fourth is manobalam, the power of mind. When we learn to manage these 4 energies, then medicine, whenever is necessary, simple dose of medicine will solve all the problems. This is what we are training here. Then this message we try to spread around the world, being in touch with people like you, and give a source of happiness. This is our ultimate mission and aim.
So where are you located? Because right away there are going to be people probably interested, and where would they find you? How does people find you?
Intimacy is located in South India, Kerala. It's the extreme south of India, and it's a state. We have around 30 states all over India, and Kerala is one among the states. And Trivandrum is the capital of Kerala, and we are located in Trivandrum. It's called Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala, South India.
Okay, very good. Hopefully everybody jotted that down who's interested. And how long have you been at this? Like, assuming only let's one incarnation at a time. But how long have you been learning and practicing and embodying this stuff? Because, and I'll say this little caveat, that for people that know some of the things you're talking about, there seems to be an importance for a facilitator oftentimes, like I sometimes come on here and I'm like, there's a difference between being like this and then like that, like I can't barely communicate, you got to let go. And sometimes people need a lot of language, and sometimes people need a lot of language for several years, sometimes decades, and then they either something breaks through or they move on or they get it or they don't or whatever. But there's a lot of people with the gift of the gab, specifically when it comes to communicating some of these really technical and finicky things, like you've probably got some people that come to you that are, I don't know, awakened or close or something like that, or maybe I'm using the wrong language by saying awakened, but are just need a subtle tweak, and you actually can say something that will help them. So I'm curious to just give some authority to where you're coming from. How long have you been at this? How did it start for you?
I will give you a brief idea about my developments. Actually, I am born in this area, Trivandrum, Kerala, and in a village. It's a coastal village. And my father was an Ayurveda physician. So traditionally, I was into these kind of things, and I was a hyperactive child. So many complaints used to come from the school to my father because of my extra energy. So he noticed it, and instead of punishing me, he put me into a traditional martial arts school. It's called Kalaripayattu, which is the mother of all martial arts. Nobody knows how what is the origin of this art. Nobody knows because it's prehistoric. Anyhow, but that art is closely associated with the yoga and training of the mind and everything. So I was a good student. Then after completing that art, then I still had energy. So I became a karate master also. That was the time when I reached to my high school level. You must be remembering the movie came to India as Enter the Dragon by Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
So I was into that, fascinated with that. Then I started learning. I became a karate master, black belt. Then I became a boxer, a dancer. So many things I did unknowingly because I didn't know why I was getting into all aggressive actions, but rhythmic. So gradually I came to know all violence, if it is properly coordinated, will take you to a perfect silence. The paradox. If you are very hungry, the food will be very tasty. If you are in desperate condition, when you get a relief, you enjoy that.
Right,
so, like day and night, pleasure and pain, heat and cold. So this is the strategy of nature, like duality. So we are always oscillating from positive, negative, negative, positive, male, female. It was like that. This oscillation was very dominant in me, and I was tired of having that. Even though the whole society appreciated me, oh, you are a warrior, you are a successful person, but I was not because I was tired of moving from this failure to success, success back to failure like that. When you go for competition, one day you will win, or you will be overjoyed. The next bout you lose it. So I was forced. I was forced to handle this, success and failure. So everything. So gradually, I wanted to go beyond this too. I was tired of this duality. Then I decided when I was in Middle East working for making some money, I saw again the inconsistency of world. There people can buy everything, either by money power or muscle power. So when I started associating with this people in the higher level of society, I saw these people were so scared when they faced two situations, disease and death. Their power and money became insignificant in front of these two realities. And I was also faced and I was forced to accept that one day death will put you down, disease will make you suffer. It's a reality. And as being a warrior, being a fighter, I couldn't accept that.
Yeah.
Then
yeah. Like I honestly think that would make probably that might affect your combat ability. Sitting around aware of how fragile your life is. You almost have to be a strong athlete. You almost have to have like a diluted sense of a capacity for accomplishment or something.
Yes. So I decided to go beyond this both. So I heard from the stories of epics of India, like Mahabharata, Ramayana. My father was a well-versed person in these things. So as a child, I had the opportunity to listen all these things. But when I reached to the college level, I was thinking that this is only a primitive exaggeration. So I, just gave up that. But I ignored, even though I ignored it, But when I reached to that age of around 20, 25, I came to know something is there underlying in the stories. So I recollected it. Then I came to know it was high level physics, like high energy physics. They were talking about immortality in a very attractive, storytelling way.
Yeah.
Then I studied seriously. I compared with the modern conclusions. Then I came to know there is a way out. Now, modern science also trying to reach ageless body. It was discussed thousands of years ago here. And in Ayurveda, the traditional medical system of India, there are some chemical combinations called rasayana, through which you can extend your lifespan. But after the invasion, these things were completely ignored. But now it's being revived. Anyhow, so when I came to know beyond the matter, energy, mind is there. Beyond the mind, there is something called infinity. This is what is discussed everywhere. So I felt I should search for it. Then I gave up that colorful life in Middle East, came back to India, and I became a seeker. I wore my saffron myself. I didn't know what is the meaning of that, but I did it, and I traveled all over India in search of a guru.
There's a uniform for seeker. There's like
Seeker.
a uniform you wear to be seeking.
Because I wanted to know what is immortality, which is discussed everywhere in each and every branch of science in India. Mm-hmm. If you go to the depth, they are talking about immortality, yoga. So I wanted to know why these masters emphasizing this point. So there was inner quest. Mm-hmm. So finally I found a master who could teach me the technique to dive deep into the inner level. Then after getting the technique, I went to a forest because I wanted to be in my seclusion, be away from all distractions.
Serious work. You need concentration. You need to be alone.
Yes. Of course, yes. Otherwise, there will be distractions. Mm-hmm. So I spent around 4.5 years in the forest only for this, search. I mean, if you hold your breath, or if you block oxygen supply to your brain more than 2.5 minutes, according to science, you will die. If you stop oxygen supply to the heart for more than 3 minutes, heart will stop. So brain will function within 2.5 minutes, heart will stop within 3 minutes. But it is applicable for only, people who are not trained. If you train your breath holding, you can comfortably cross 5 minutes. Initially, I was not very comfortable to fall into that claim. Then when I verified, there is a tribe called sea nomads. You might have heard about that. Sea nomads. It's one particular section of people who are seen where Indonesia and Malaysian coastal area. They are born and living in the sea only. These people can go underwater without any equipments.
Okay, I see.
Many minutes they can. And the world record is 13 minutes. Yeah. A person can go underwater 13 minutes. Means, why are they not dying?
Right.
Practice. And their spleen, usually that tribe's spleen is bigger than ordinary people. So body has the potential to adapt any kind of changes. This is what
practice. The key word you said there's practice, though. Don't jump to the bottom of the ocean with no practice.
So I did it. When I verified it, everything is scientifically codified. You are breathing around 13 to 14 times a minute as an ordinary person. Then we have to extend ayama in yoga called extension of breath. So extend your breath, start learning, breathe once a minute, then slowly once in 2 minutes, then once in 3 minutes, like that. One day you will be able to arrest the breath. When you arrest the breath in a controlled way, you can experience death. It is called a near-death experience. It's called samadhi.
That sounds
Sorry?
so horrible to do. It sounds so painful, but I want to say something you might find interesting.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, with
Ah.
a Christian kid in the
Ah.
West, I did this weird, peculiar thing. I don't know. Haven't found anybody else that did this. But when I was a kid, I had a lot of thoughts and I was tormented my whole life, it felt like. And so I used to pile. And by the way, to the layman out there, have a trained professional, whether you're doing breath stuff. Caveat, don't do nothing without some kind of like professional guiding you. But this is just aside from that. When I was a kid, I used to bury myself in pillows and blankets and stay as still as I could and try to not think anything. I didn't know anything about meditation, didn't know anything about any of this stuff, but I had this sense that I wanted to simulate as much as I could what it was like to not be alive. And I would hold my breath. I would hold my breath buried in like as if I was dead. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then I would come out of it because I couldn't stand thinking. Every thought felt like agony to me. And so I just wanted to be silent. And this is way before I even ever entertained something like meditation.
You are 100% right, and I appreciate it. I was also a child like you. I used to dive deep into the lake, go underwater, and hold as much as possible until I feel like I should start to go, then I used to jump up.
Sit at the bottom and try to just disappear.
Actually, once I was doing a very dangerous practice. I came to know, I was playing with water. One day I came to know, if you empty your lungs and go underwater, then you can lie down there, you can sit there because body will not come up.
Yeah.
So I was really enjoying that perfect silence. But one day I felt I wanted to come out because I was struggling for oxygen. The limbs were not moving. Because lungs were empty. Oh, there I really experienced fear also. I knew that I was going to die. I was struggling to come up, but body was not moving. And maybe when I reached to a certain level, then I used all my energy to jump up. Somehow I came out. Then that day onwards, I stopped that practice.
Yeah. A good scare like that'll shock you back into, not toying with life. But anyway, skipping to the future where you're pursuing this now and you're doing this, very interesting practice alone, where you're learning to control the breath till you can have sustained arrest the breath, and it's a real experience of death. Again, I would say, warning out there to people, have somebody that knows what they're talking about if you're even going to entertain this sort of thing. But go on with your experience.
1 minute. So let me complete that area. Then when I recognized it, actually, people who wrote their experience, they spend some time they spend in ICU in the hospitals. Many people, explain that they had gone through some kind of experience, like they went through a tunnel and many things they experienced. Doctors call it near-death experience. So once it is happening due to a disease that is beyond the control, we call it disease. In Sanskrit, it is called roga. Roga means diseased. Through disease, you can die. But the same situation you can create through practice. That is what is called yoga. So when a near-death experience comes by disease, it is beyond the control, it is a disease. But when you create that disease-like situation, that is the way to liberation. One is death, one is liberation. So when I recognized it, when I created my death, I came to know my real potential. This is what is explained in the whole yogic tradition. Then you never come to know what fear is. The hormone which is the cause of fear produced by your body, that gland will be completely sterilized when you go through this experience. Can you imagine a state of mind which doesn't know what fear is? It's an amazing state of mind. Actually, everything is in the mind. If I am scared, I will feel the whole world is making me scared. If I am not, nobody can make me scared. And
you can experience a feeling similar to anxiety or fear, but you don't experience it the same somebody who would be identified with that fear. Like, if you see somebody scared and you ask them what's going on, they might say, "I'm afraid, I'm scared." I would imagine you still have a capacity with your nervous system to feel alarm. You know what I mean? Like if a tiger jumped out of the bush at you, you would know to run away from it.
There you come to know the science or the chemistry of your mind.
Yeah.
All your emotions are the outcome of hormones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go study well. If you want to be angry, your adrenaline level should be high. If there is no adrenaline, you never experience anger.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you want to be happy, you need oxytocin, endorphins you need. If your brain fails to produce endorphin, you never experience what happiness is. Yeah.
I just got this idea of like scientists finding a guru, like a mystical guru, and to run a test, like putting him in a shady part of town, like taking all his clothes and money away and putting him into like a bad part of town and like seeing what happens and how long before his adrenaline started rising and finding a utility for all that feeling. But if the situation is accommodating, like when you came into this, sounds like you were pretty established. You were already a successful warrior martial artist. You'd already experienced so much in that life already in terms of like what life has to offer. And you noticed something, pendulum swinging, oscillating, never really free, super dependent. And then now when you were ripe to move into a state of bliss or relaxation or peace, now your nervous system actually is in a situation where it can literally afford to calm down and not be so fear-ridden. You know what I mean? But like, I'm just speaking on behalf of the utility, because somebody like some people act as though some emotions are like bad or something, or some feelings or some thoughts are like literally bad. It's like in the right context, there's reasons for why these things might happen. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to make the distinction, for those that are ready to not suffer anymore. You know what I mean? You didn't suffer for no reason. All that suffering was guiding you, but there comes a time when seems like you can let it go.
See, suppose you have a very advanced, sophisticated computer. If you don't know how to use it, that will be a burden for you. If you know how to use it, that will make your life fantastic. Same way, your system is the most sophisticated machine created by the producer, nature, and granted to you. But you don't know how to use it. You don't know the owner's manual, and you are struggling with that. But here, what I am saying is, all your thoughts and emotions are being created from within due to different hormones. Mm-hmm. Production of hormones. Mm-hmm. If you know how to manage the production of your hormones, you will have the perfect control over your emotions. If you
step one, stop being on drugs and drinking coffee and doom scrolling TikTok. Right away, your hormones are going to fix a little.
No, correction again. If you want to enjoy a coffee, it should be conscious. You take a coffee, fully connected to the coffee, you enjoy it. That enjoyment is beyond comparison, because you are doing it consciously.
Consciously, not unconsciously, just shoveling everything back in a state of
when you drink a cup of coffee, and your mind is worried with something, and you are drinking the coffee, it is a poison for you.
I drink coffee, by the way. I'm not trying to be a hypocrite here. I'm just saying that I agree with what you're saying about the hormones. And I saw a video that you did where you talked about adrenaline so directly, not word salad. But the thing about it that, like, I don't know if I watched it wrong or listened to it wrong, but it seems so simple. Yet I wish people could do this when it's like, you've got a lot of adrenaline going on. Just stop producing adrenaline. Like, you're stressed out because your adrenaline's going haywire. So stop that. But then it gets into, with the yoga and everything like that, it seems like you've got a particular brand of diagnostics and then treatments for that.
what are they, you know?
Well, hold on a sec. I do want to get into exactly what you're talking about. Before we get into that, I don't want to end the story because I feel like we're leaping over something here because there was the liberation point, right?
Yes.
The point of liberation. Obviously, you have your experience there, and then how does it go from there to now the healing village? How does that happen?
Yeah, good question.
See, you wanted to climb Mount Everest. Okay? You climbed it. Then it became very easy for you. You can climb whenever you want. And people who are thinking of, oh, how can I climb a small hill? He is suffering. As a person who already conquered Mount Everest, you smile and tell this person, don't worry, I will show you how to climb this small mountain. So for me, I climbed Mount Everest of my life. And people who are coming in front of me saying that, oh, I have sleeplessness, so I cannot sleep. I am under the influence of this one, dependence of what is that, sleeping pills, but that also gave me headache. I say, come on, don't worry. Sit. To hold your breath to this extent. Trigger your stimulation. Get control over your serotonin production. You can stimulate each and every cell in your body by breath management. This is a proven science. Hold the breath, get control over the breath, trigger the potential of your system. Moment that person learn to produce more serotonin in his body through breath management, he will sleep like a baby. So his problem is over. Then a person who is suffering from neck pain, and doctors advised, okay, go for surgery, cervical spondylitis. How many hundreds are coming to me? And they are scared of surgery. And the surgery is not giving the guarantee, 50-50. Then this guy said, okay, come on, I make him sit, teach him how to reset the joint through breath management. It's called kumbhaga in Sanskrit, retention. You can hold your breath either inside or outside. Then you can play with the muscles. I know as a bodybuilder, whenever I used to do the heavyweight bench press, I used to take, spontaneously or naturally, I was using my breath management. Sometimes we will lie back on the bench, two guys will give the heavy weight. Then when we have to raise, you cannot take it with the ordinary breathing level. There must be a breath like that. Now I create the same feeling by simply holding the breath. So earlier it was with an external support. Now I am creating it with the breath management. The same hormone which I was producing in the gymnasium. Now I am simply sitting and holding the breath and creating it. So this is what
I have a saying, and it's when sleep comes, when peace comes. It's so simple, but this is the saying. I go, sleep comes when peace arrives.
Peace comes, yes.
Because I noticed something. I used to do this thing that I think I heard the Navy SEALs did, which is when I couldn't sleep, I would seize my body up and then I would relax. And I would seize my body, and it was like, I think I heard that Navy SEAls do this to learn, because they have tactics for falling asleep when they're in the jungle under stress or something like that. But then
wait. What is happening when you hold the breath like this? Think. What is the chemistry?
No, I would constrict my body. I would tense all my muscles up, and then I would release them.
Come on, when you hold the muscle and release them, technically what's happening? Think medically. When you now hold the muscle and release it, hold the muscle and release it, then what is the after effect of that? Think.
Sleep.
There
you're tired. You're tired. Yes. Exhausted. Well, it's a contraction. It's a contraction and a release.
How you become tired? Because hormones are produced. Mm-hmm. This is what is happening when hormones are produced. Dopamines are going high. Then you want to sleep. Then body will say, come on, I cannot take it anymore. Then you will get proper sleep. Then body is forced to produce serotonin to make you sleep. So this is how, like a medicine. See, when you are bitten by a dog, a mad dog, you will get a rabies vaccine. Actually, what is that vaccine? It is the same poison but minimized strength injected on you. What is the purpose of that? It will challenge the immune system. Then the lying immune system will recognize the rabies. Oh, dangerous things are there. Then your immunity will work hard to fight back. That's how your antibodies are produced. It's a chemical action and reaction. So same way, when you are not sleeping, yes, sleep. If you are not sleeping, you don't experience peace. Yes. But why you are not sleeping? Then challenge your body or make your body tired by doing exercise, then certain hormones will be produced.
Yeah, I agree with the tactic. Like you know what I mean? Like I would do that. I would do this thing where I would seize myself up, and then I would periodically, and then eventually I would relax or whatever. But another thing I came across was like hypnosis. I would listen to somebody slowly guide me, and around that time I started realizing, you know, whether I worked a really hard, tough day or I was so stressed out and worried about something that I just like exhausted myself, I realized that sleep comes when peace comes. You know what I mean? Like I can't go to sleep listening to Metallica. You know what I mean? If I go to sleep and I foster an environment of peace, peace comes. And this is the insight that I'm having now. It's a good tactic. If you see somebody severely frazzled and they can't sleep, you could throw that. You could say, hey, try this thing where you hold your breath or whatever to get the hormones. But there's something else couched in there, which is the notion that it's not a problem if peace is there. Like I often, when I'm meditating, I fall asleep. I'm not embarrassed about it or shameful about it. I'll meditate and it's so pleasant that I go to bed, fall asleep. And I think that there's something wonderful about sleep, and it's healthy to sleep, but it seems to be a problem for people. People seem to struggle to fall asleep. People take sleeping pills. People do all manner of things to try to achieve that state. And it seems like you've got some tools. But for you, when you want to go to bed, do you still need to do that? Or are you at a baseline peace enough where you don't need to employ those tactics? Your adrenaline's already slow. At will, maybe you can just go, okay, nighttime now, and go right to sleep.
If you meditate properly,
yeah,
your system will adopt it. Then the biological clock will organize everything by itself. So when sun sets, your biological clock will say that, come on, serotonin should be produced more. It will become spontaneous. It is not.
I don't really have a problem sleeping anymore. I don't struggle with it, but you know what I mean? But it's because I'm far less neurotic these days than I used to be. Like, you know what I mean? Less worries going on nightly. If something's capturing my attention, my furnace broke down and I was up all night because my furnace broke and I had to deal with that. But otherwise, you know what I mean? Sleep's a lot easier now. But I used to do that sort of stuff. I used to do that kind of like contract, restrict, and then release, contract and release, to lull myself, to exhaust myself into sort of a sleeping state. Anyway,
well, one of the things you mentioned that was kind of interesting is people that come into the healing village there, one of the things that they're inflicted with is the idea of like consuming too much knowledge. Their heads are filled. They got so much going on with the information that they've gathered. I'm curious about modern society and your remedy for helping people cope with that.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying. When you have a computer with a limited capacity, you're trying to fill it with more information, the computer gets jammed. But what do you have to do? Increase the capacity. You just increase it infinitely. What will happen? And the information which already stored in the computer will become nothing. That is what's happening in our brain. Brain has tremendous capacity. You know that according to brain math or heart math associations are doing. Then many neurologists are doing a lot of studies, and they declared that we are using the capacity, maybe 3 to 5% of the total capacity is being used. Yeah. What is happening in the rest of the capacity? 95% unused. Even Albert Einstein, he used the 3 or 4% of his capacity. Then what is the condition of an ordinary man? So this is what ancient masters recognized, that enhance your capacity. Then
So you believe that through the breath work and the breath work, that is
I'm
expanding, like allowing you to like a higher capacity to be able to take everything that's coming at you.
yes, I am not believing. I believed in that, but now I am experiencing.
Yeah.
This is the difference. Where we
Yeah.
have to believe. If we don't know something, we have to believe.
Hmm.
But if we know, when we come face to face, that will become an experience.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
here informations are beliefs, but experience is experience. There is no need of belief. So this is what I am teaching people. Oh, you believe that you have immense capacity because you have not experienced it. How you can experience it? So, like somebody said, behind that door there is a treasure house. Yeah, okay, a treasure box is there. I think that, oh, if I reach there, I will get it. But I keep on thinking, but I am not experiencing it. So I should put the deliberate effort, go there, open the door, then see, it is my pleasure, it is my treasure. Same way, you have immense pleasure within you. You have immense capacity. That's what science says. There is no difference between micro and macro. How many thousands of years ago it is written here, Anoraniyan Mahado Mahiya. I mean, what you feel as an individual, don't worry, you are an integral part of this cosmic existence. Awaken to that level. How? Focus your mind within. Focus the mind has universal capacity, cosmic energy is there. You are not exploring it. So learn that, explore it. That is what is called experience. No more beliefs.
That's so funny, that story about the treasure chest in the other room, because there's people selling tickets to that treasure chest. There's people walking around that don't even care about treasure, that somebody stops and goes, hey, 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 you realize there's a treasure over there, right? When you should be upset. And then all of a sudden people are looking for treasure. But you give them you show them, you just take them by the hand and you show them right to the treasure. Now, one thing I kind of wanted to double back to was these notions of immortality and the fear of death. Like, that's a real thing, you know? And just quickly, I would say my mind is fascinated with the fact that people do fear death, but they don't fear the prior to birth. It's not like you're afraid of what you were before you were born, but people are afraid of what's going to happen after they die. It's odd. It's just interesting. But going back to that, the notions of immortality, you know what I mean? How did that resolve for you? Because it sounds like when you were younger and you were coming to the end of your career in martial arts, you were thinking about this notion about like, okay, well, now I got to face my mortality, you know. And you briefly mentioned that there's some science for life extension within, you know, the veins of practice that you follow or whatever. But can we talk more about that? Did you resolve it? How was that resolved for you, the notion of death, and what can be said?
I created my death. That's how I conquered it. You are scared because you don't know what it is. See, this is what I told
I'm
you.
not afraid
Yeah.
of death. I don't think. Like, not right now. If
You
it
in
was
the-
if it was imminent, I would
you in the
react like
sense
a
the question,
mammal.
you in the sense, the
Yeah.
person who is asking the question.
Yeah.
Anybody who is scared of death because they don't know what death is. That's why they are scared. When you experience it, there is no more fear, and there is no death the way we pursue. That's the difference. Just give me a scientific explanation if you can think. If I show a piece of ice in front of you, will you call it water or vapor? Or you will call it ice, solid ice.
Right.
But if I change the temperature of the ice, that ice will lose its identity and it will be transformed to water. When the identity loss is usually called death. Then ice died and water born, same molecules. Then you heat it up. Then the water will be gone. What will be born? Vapor will be born. So remove the heat from the vapor. The same molecules will gain a form of water. Again, you remove the heat from the water, you will get the ice back. So scientifically speaking, there is no fundamental change. Only the state of being, manifestation is changing. Same way, this is what he's saying, that modern science is declaring this. Energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. If one form of energy changes, it will appear in another form. You and everybody, we have 37.3 degrees centigrade in our body. If due to a disease, suppose your temperature is going high, 2 to 3 degrees centigrade high, you will lose your consciousness. People say, oh, now he is out of his senses because his fever had gone different level. That means you are in a different dimension of your consciousness. You have not gone anywhere. But you are shifting the dimension, because that is called disease, because it's happening spontaneously. You have no control over it. If 2 or 3 degrees centigrade falls down, you will change your consciousness. This technique is used in yoga. It's called tapas. In Sanskrit, tapa means heat. If I consciously change my temperature by holding the breath and focusing the mind, wherever energy is focused, there will be heat produced. You can feel. So focus the mind. You don't know where your mind is. It is cosmically expanded. So bring it back to a certain source. It will produce your bioheat. It will show the structural change within you. And when you become the witness of that change, you can experience. You are creating the shift of dimension, means death.
So what's the specific name of this yoga?
It's Kundalini yoga.
Okay, so you're teaching Kundalini yoga. Now, correct me if I'm getting it wrong, but it does sound like this type of yoga, is it controversial? Because it does sound like what you're talking about is creating a natural near-death experience using Kundalini yoga to self-realize and lose that fear thing that you're talking about, which holds so many people back.
It is controversial because people are not aware of the science behind it. Everybody now, why religions are conflicting each other? Because the guys who are getting into conflict don't know the purpose of religion. They are falling in the peripheral level, and of course, peripheral level there are discrimination, like you and me.
Yeah.
Suppose you have your personality, I have my personality. When the personality crisis comes, yes, we are into conflict. But if we think deep, your body is made of flesh and bones. My body made of flesh and bones. And fundamentally, it is created from 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. Where is the difference in that fundamental level? When we go to that root level, there is no conflict. That is what is called unity.
Well, and look at this, because this conversation at a family Thanksgiving, might end in people yelling at each other. But look at us. We have our different opinions, and we're having a pleasant conversation, an enjoyable conversation. And Guruji, I just wanted to throw a little philosophy at you and see what you think, okay, when it comes to the death thing. So see what you think of this. You know what I mean? So you take a frog, if you cut that frog in half and all you've got is the legs, you go to put those legs in boiling water and it moves away from it. Most people as mammals and creatures, if you put your hand near fire, people are going to pull back from the heat unless they've trained themselves to supersede that drive. But I'm saying it's something that living creatures sort of do, even involuntarily. Sometimes things move away from danger and towards what's good. But, we move away from our death. We move away from danger. But then there's a neurotic thinking that goes on about our lives where we imagine who we feel on the inside we're worried about it at an abstract psychological level. It's not at the physiological level anymore, which really keeps you safe. It keeps you safe to avoid an avalanche. But we turn it into a pathology, and we think about eternity, and we think about immortality. And I think about sometimes the freedom from death. If somebody were if they found me at the ends of the earth in the jungle and I for some reason was known as the guy with the answer to immortality, I feel like I would explain the reason this is how you be free from death. You realize that you're not there to begin with. There's not a you that even is there, that you think is there, that was ever, that is, it's important to go on for eternity. That's the fiction. The fiction is the stories. The fiction is the assumptions and the phenomenology and all this stuff. That has come and gone a billion, zillion, trillion times. And yes, it's all made of the same stuff. It's all made of the same stuff recycled. And in that way, it's kind of multiple lives. And in that way, it's kind of karmic. But at the end of the day, immortality, just in my opinion, seems to emerge when you realize that there's not some soul. The reason nobody has to worry about dying is because nobody's there to begin with to die. It's a bunch of accumulated personality quirks. You know, you could tinker with my brain and change my personality. You could give me certain types of brain damage that would actually, I'd be like a different guy from now on. You know what I mean? And who goes to heaven, the first guy or the second guy? We're all eternal because we're all part of this soupy field. But
Yes.
but the only thing that you don't have to worry about it, because the thing that's afraid of whatever comes next is so temporary. It's just like weather passing through a nervous system or something. What do you think about these ideas, Guruji?
These are all ideas in the brain. I am not.
Of course they are. Yep.
I'm not. I was not ready to be entangled into my thoughts. I wanted to go beyond the thoughts. Yes.
Yes. It's just, I just think it's interesting, you know what I mean? Because you mentioned the thing about different states, you know, matter in different states like ice and vapor. And I'm sure that's a very helpful way for
That's
people
what I
to think about
said.
it.
A person who is entangled into the worries and thoughts of a disease, and where medicines are miserably failing, and I tell them, come on, change the pattern of your thought. Use the mind as medicine. And that is what I am doing here. People are coming here with the autoimmune diseases. Yes. And doctors said, sorry, medicines are not affecting because it is autoimmune state. What is next for that person? I was not ready to be defeated with that conclusion. That's why I challenged it. I challenged the limit of the brain because I wanted to go beyond the entanglement of the thoughts. I was not ready to be a slave of that. And I found masters already, thousands of years, people had gone beyond the limit of the thoughts. I followed their path. I found how safely we can go beyond the entanglement of thoughts. Then I found it. Then wisdom I'm sharing with people in a very practical way, and they are getting the benefit. This is what, instead of thinking a lot, get into practice. This is what I'm teaching people. Yes.
Yeah. That alone will save you some troubles.
How do you feel about the modernization of Kundalini all over the world now? Because like when you look up spiritual practices and stuff on YouTube, there's so many people who claim to be teaching Kundalini, that they have their version of it. And when I was kind of like researching some of your stuff, I realized that there's something to like the lineage of the people that you learn from, right? Maybe for our audience, like, I don't know if you said it already, but could you just reaffirm the lineage that you learned from?
Yes. Suppose you are planning to drive into a desert. It's an totally unknown terrain. You don't know and how dangerous it is. Or you are going for a sail. You are alone. What you will do? You simply, madly, you will take your vessel and go, or you will make a study. How many people had gone through this direction in the past? Will you study or not? This is what lineage. If you are going to an unknown terrain, yes, you want to cross that area, but you have to make it safe. Then you will verify how many people had gone through this area. Then you came to know, 5-10 people already passed through area. Then you take their experiences. They might have written a book about it. Okay, then you get a clear idea. Okay, when you reach to that level, there can be a danger. Take care of that. So it's a preparation guided by an experienced person who had already gone through. That is what is called lineage. The depth of your mind is fully unknown. It is not easy diving into the depth of your mind. If you make a small mistake, you may be lost over there. I can see so many people. Many people tried without any guidance. You said, I was simply saying, many people meditate in the name, they sleep thinking that they are meditating. You know what will happen? Gradually, after a few years of meditation, the so-called method, they will develop severe back pain. It's happening to many people because when you meditate, actually it's called yoga nidra. It is a conscious sleep. You will be perfect, you will have extra vigilance. You will go beyond your consciousness, but you are not falling down subconscious to unconscious. You are taking your mind from conscious to transcendental state, then turiya, higher state. There, your joints, your pressure, your spine, everything will be realigned consciously, but you will feel some kind of sleep. Anyhow, leave it. That is what is again Kundalini Yoga. Many people say Kundalini Yoga. It is a mysterious word. You know why? They mystify it. Actually, Kundalini is in Sanskrit stored, coiled. Your heart is beating without fail, 72 times a minute. If you are very healthy, there is a rhythm. And with which energy the heart is beating? Medically, you say there is a pacemaker. Who kept that much energy in the pacemaker in your body? Nobody knows. And you are breathing. So 21,600 times within 24 hours, your lungs expand and contract. With which energy it's working? And one day, everybody is sure that one day this guy will stop because it's like a electricity cut off. The motor stopped. One day it will be cut off. So from where? From which battery this organs are getting energy? That stored battery by nature is called Kundalini. It's a stored energy. That's all. So your life. Yeah.
I've never had back problems. Is not something I've had much of in my life. You've had some back issues.
Yeah. Long.
I've never had back issues.
Long before I was meditating.
And I just wanted to say something about meditation. Like when I first started doing it, I was pretty militant about it. I thought that there was something to posture and everything, and I didn't get anywhere for a long time. And then I just chilled out a bit. I lie down a lot of times. I'm lying down and I'll be conscious and go into a meditative state consciously. Sometimes I fall asleep. And then here's another weird thing. When I don't want to meditate anymore, I just stop. Like when something comes up and I'm like, okay, like it used to be, I'd go to sit down to meditate when I first started. I would go to sit down and then almost immediately it would be like, oh, you should go answer that email, or you should go do this. And my mind would fill up with, they call it chimp chatter, monkey brain. And so I would be reactive. It would pull me out of it, but then I would force myself through militant behavior to stay still. And I got nowhere for so long. And then I just started to shift towards like, if I fall asleep, I fall asleep. I'm just going to sit here. But I tried to recognize. I tried to notice. I went into a state of noticing and recognizing. And I can stay in I can stay meditating or still. But now, if I don't want to anymore, I just, like if something actually eventually comes up, I get up and I go. And sometimes I'll meditate for 20 minutes. Sometimes I'll meditate for like an hour or so or whatever. But that I realized that is so, I would get kicked out of the meditation class. Like if you're teaching a class of meditators and somebody lies down on their back and goes to bed, you know what I mean? What would you do to a guy like that? Because I wouldn't fit in with normal meditators.
I will wish a perfect sleep. That's all.
You'd let him sleep?
Why should that person struggle? See, meditation is not these things. It is not Kundalini Yoga. Kundalini Yoga is the perfect awareness of the whole existence. Why you are born, why you are living, and what will happen after you leave the body. That is what is already stored in your genes. Yeah. Learn to read that stored information. That is what is called Kundalini Yoga. Then there is no further questions because all questions are answered from within. And there is no...
Can you at will go into these altered states? Like, you know what I mean? Some of the practices that take you to an NDE situation, like a near-death experience, or you access a different level of reality, like if I'm getting you right, that you can do. Can you do that at will now? Has it become easier for you? Can you just literally, like sometimes you'll see somebody like Sadhguru or something, they'll kind of like go into a trance state or they'll seem to go into an altered state. Do you do stuff like that? Is that something that you can do? Do you recommend that? Is there any use to that sort of thing? Or is this just fancy bells and whistles?
I experienced my death. I saw my body as I see you when I was in the forest.
Oh.
That is where I came to know now why I should be in the body. I went back to my master. I said, "See, I don't want this body anymore. What is next?" Then he advised me, "Anyhow, you got the liberation, fine, but this is not the time to leave the body. Go back to society, share this wisdom with people, and you just gradually you will come to know what your karma is." So this is what I'm doing. I have no questions. I have only experiences.
Right,
That's what
right,
I'm trying to share with people. So you keep asking questions because you are confused. Get the clarity, then no more questions. It's like I usually I use this analogy. Suppose a blind boy is coming to you and asking that, "Uncle, please tell me what is a color." He's a bright boy, intellectual, but he is asking questions about colors. How can you convince that child about colors?
You say there's no such thing as a color. No, I'm just kidding. You explain to him the color spectrum and all the details, I suppose? I don't know.
But how he will come to know? Yeah, he will ask question. You will say the spectrum of yellow. He'll
Oh,
say,
a blind. You're right. You said he was a blind boy. That's true. Yeah. I see
Yes.
your point. So
Questions
what's
are
the
like
answer?
this. All are, yes, that is the answer. All are spiritually blind. And I was also blind. I was not ready to be blind anymore. So I wanted to open the third eye, the sixth sense, the spiritual eye. If you take that child to a ophthalmologist and find the reason of the blindness and you do a surgery, and suppose the child is getting the vision back, how many questions will remain in him regarding colors?
Wow.
Yeah.
No,
So like
yeah,
that,
yeah.
yeah. So we all are asking questions. I was also tired of asking questions because I was spiritually blind. When I came to know I was spiritually blind, I wanted to open my sixth spiritual eye, sixth sense. And I verified with the masters who had gone through this. And everybody declared that, come on, you stop your breath. Then slowly you can arrest your senses one by one. Chitta vritti, Nirodha, Yoga. 250, 500 years ago, 2500 years ago, a book is written here.
Do you
Saying
find that
that,
there's a lot? Is there? You must have a lot of people come to you, literally seeking answers. Like there's a whole cross section of people going, "I'm blind. Help me see." You know what I mean? Like it's funny because there's a whole group, there's a whole bunch of people going, "I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't care about blindness," and they're going on with their life. But there's suffering people that are coming to you. You must have a lot of people come to you seeking relief, seeking
of course,
healing.
So that leads into a good thing. So what do you use as a beginning point? I'm curious about like people who come to the healing village, people who talk to you, meet you for the first time. They're curious about what's going on here. What's the starting point for these people?
I make them understand the insignificance of the dependence in the brain. I make them understand you all are animals. Be an animal. Man is nothing but a social animal. Our instinct is actually animal. We were born in the forest like other animals. Have you ever seen an animal who is stressed because of limited performance? Have
Only
you
the
ever
ones that are around humans all the time.
I'm saying? So the socialized animal only is comparing many things. The real animals are not stressed because they are well in tune with the law of nature. They will not eat if they are not hungry. No animal will eat by the clock. Only the two-legged animal will eat by clock. And no animal will kill another animal if it is not hungry. But human animal only will kill others because he will think a lot. This is what I am telling people. First, you come out from this created personality. Be as natural as possible, like an animal. Be simple. Be like a naive child. Children are not stressed and they don't have many problems. You create your problems. Once mind is, problematic, that vibration will be permitted to matter. Mind is manifesting as matter or body. This is again, physics is reaching there. So I train people how to go with the law of nature. The moment you violate the law of nature, it is irrevocable. You will be punished. Your present problem is the outcome or the punishment of nature. So don't violate anymore. The moment you follow the law, the nature will support you. This is what I'm teaching. How to eat food as medicine, like an animal. You can see all animals will stretch with a certain intervals. Cats, dogs, everybody. Even you might have heard in yoga, there are cat pose, tiger pose, dog pose, elephant pose. What is it? Actually, masters copied from the nature. So all are stretching. These stretches are wonderful medicines. If you know how to stretch your body properly, that also can be used as medicine. So I teach them how to stretch your body to use as medicine. Third, I teach them how comfortably you have to breathe, how consciously you have to breathe. If you breathe consciously, immediately 50% of your problem will vanish. Means your mind will get focused. Focused mind will be immune. If you have immunity, no disease is in your body. Disease is the lack of immunity. If the immunity is taken back, when light comes, darkness will vanish. Then I teach them how to meditate properly more than thinking. People are sitting and closing eyes and they are thinking a lot. But instead of thinking, I teach them how to meditate in a traditional way with the acceptance of lineage. Lineage is so strict, they have no compromise. This is what I do.
Lineage?
Lineage. Yes, lineage means the scientific training.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So once people are introduced to these 4 ways, then I have a good team of doctors. First, I lay the foundation of health. Then doctors will see, okay, this medicine will work well. Simple dose of medicine will solve the problem. Instead of focusing on the foundation, unfortunately, modern men are falling into all medicine. Medicine is the first, the discipline is the second, or completely ignored. Here, tradition says discipline first, medicine second. Like if you want to construct a house, first priority, you make a strong foundation. Then you construct a structure, it will be stable. But without the foundation, you try to construct a structure, always it is shaky. That is why modern man is shaky.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Except for the guy that falls in the river. You don't want to throw a Olympian swimmer into the river because they're going to think they can solve it with their effort. The man that goes limp just goes with the flow. He survives. He just bounces off all the rocks. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. If you fall into a river, don't listen to Justin. There's all kinds of things you could do. Yeah. So like, our people must be walking away healed and feeling better from your institution that you're operating. So right away, people can get a taste of what you're all about. Like, where do people find you online? Where like, to the people that are watching this and they're interested in what you have to say, where can they find you to learn more?
We have the website, Indimasi, INDIMASI, intimacy.co. Everything is available there. Yeah, you asked question. Yes, people are walking away with good benefits. Yes, I started it and I started operating in 2019. Then 2020 March we closed it because of COVID. Then again 22nd we resumed. Within this period, from 22nd to now 26, from 60 countries, 60 countries, more than 2,000 people already came.
No.
And I can say I'm not claiming anything, but the publicity is word of mouth. One person is getting a relief, he will tell to his people, come on, don't worry, there is a way out. So this is what is happening. And we are keeping a data also now. Now modern man is always looking for data. So we are collecting that also now. Everybody can verify. Even government also very strict on these kind of things, because many claims and fake people are there. Because when the need is more, sellers, providers also will be more. So now government is very strict and they are monitoring, and they have this instruction. All institutions who are dealing with these things must have a government approval called NABH, National Accreditation, Board of something like Health, NABH. So it is a Indian government approval. So their team will come, and they came here. They verified everything, and they came to know, yes, it is going through systematic way. They approved it. We have the certification of NABH also.
Wow,
Yes.
well, that's great.
Any books yet? Any books written by you yet, or?
Yeah, I have written one book. It's called Aham Brahmasmi. I am the reality. That is the meaning.
Yeah.
So yes, so it is available in the website also. Anybody can just download it and read. And the second book, of course, it is probably next month it will come. I will put in website also. It's my journey to eternity. Like many people ask these questions, so I explained how from a remote village of South India, an ordinary boy slowly went through many stages and came as Guru Yogi Shivan. So it's my journey. That book is coming next month. My journey to eternity. Yes.
All right. Well, Guruji, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. It was great having you, sharing your insights. You've been an awesome guest. One thing we like to do at the end of these interviews, kind of give our guests a final last word. So if there's something you want to leave with the audience out there that's watching everything going on, I'll leave the floor with you, and then we'll close things out.
I would like to tell everybody, this is my message to the whole humanity, that we have 24 hours in a day, and we use it the way we like. But take 1 minute from each hour, mean 24 minutes. This is the instruction of ancient masters. From this 24 hours, you sacrifice 24 minutes for your inner observation. Must be learned from an experienced person. Trust yourself. Respect yourself. Love yourself. Many people say, oh, people are fighting with me, they are angry with me. You are what you know. If you feel that I am loving myself, I am everything, and I am responsible for my life, you are what you know. So when you have that self-esteem, you will project, you will emit that vibration. People will immediately recognize it. If you are scared, people will make you scared. If you are courageous, people will make you more courageous. This is what. So spend 24 minutes a day, sit somewhere, learn from a reliable source how to look inside. Practice it every day. Sacrifice that 24 minutes. You can see within 6 months, you can see the change. You know why? Within 180 days, 99% of our whole cells will be replaced. This is how body is changing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's an interesting factoid. Yeah.
So spend that 24 minutes a day for at least 180 days. You can see, you can witness a comfortable and very, spontaneous development from within. So you will start appreciating yourself. You will love yourself. Then you will be able to love the whole world. This is what Jesus Christ also clearly stated. Practice unconditional love. If you want to love unconditionally, you must learn to love yourself. You will be selfless. This is what you have to practice. This is my instruction to everybody. There is tremendous strength within you and happiness. So be healthy, happy, and courageous. Thank you.
Right on.
Beautiful.
Right on.
Great. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you.